Yes, absolutely. Major General Shashi Asthana, former additional DG Infantry, is also joining us now live. Major General Asthana, it is of course going to be a display of our military might at Kartavya Path very, very shortly. But let's just take a moment to look back at the year gone by. Huge strides made in the field of defense, from of course further indigenization of our security forces, to major strides forward in Make in India for the defense sector in particular, to stabilization of the situation at the LAC as well after multiple talks on ground at the corps commander level, and also of course through diplomatic channels, and of course also more equitization of our security forces with more women as well being deployed now. So huge strides made in the last year as far as the security forces are concerned. Important to remember that even as we look forward to this military might display today.
Certainly, Uday, happy Republic Day to you and all the viewers. It is an occasion, as you rightly asked, the significance of this particular day. This is the day when we adopted the Constitution of India. We became the sovereign democratic republic. And there is much more to it, which I just want to highlight for the remembrance of the viewers. See, we got independence in 1947, all right. But between 47 and 1950, a lot happened. We went through a war in which our commander-in-chiefs, they were British. So basically, we were fighting under British, and the outcome of the fight, that is in 1947-48, today when we see that POK is with Pakistan, was also determined by the British, because the commander-in-chief was directing the chiefs both sides, and all three of them were British. So 1949, we had General Karyappa as our first commander-in-chief. And also during this period, between 47 and 1950, we also integrated a number of states, like Hyderabad got included. So if we see integrated, independent India, and an India which was not being governed by the Government of India Act of British, but by the Constitution of India, came up in 1950. So this is the significance of this day, that we started chartering a part of our own, and the, shall I say, the government of our own in the right sense. Now coming on to the issues which you mentioned, 75 years, let me tell you, is not a very long time in the link of the existence of a nation. If America has achieved what it has achieved in 350 years of being a nation, we have just added for 75 years as a nation, because before that we were princely states. So within these 75 years, whatever we have done is we can all feel proud of, in a manner that when British were here, they did not shift the manufacturing basis as far as the defense equipment is concerned. And they left an army with almost no manufacturing capability. Now, from starting from a scratch till today, we are in the Atmanirbhar Bharat and manufacturing most of our equipment and most of our accessories and ammunition. That I think is a great jump. And it had been a very consistent, shall I say, development of the country. And let me also say that yes, people denied us technology. That's why we are where we are. We had to buy a lot. We are still buying a lot. There is a lot to be done. But notwithstanding that, the fact that we have also emerged in a scene of exporting defense equipment, that indicates that yes, we have arrived in some manner or the other. Now, as far as our the defense equipment is concerned, every country, there is a figure which is called as for an optimal military forces, whether it is America or Russia or India, you need to have about 30% state-of-the-art equipment, about 40% current equipment, and 30% is the older generation. Now, in our case, unfortunately, the older generation constitutes 70%, whereas actually it should be 30%. and the state of art equipment is just about 10 to 15%. So that is where we are working on. There are certain equipment which we cannot manufacture. Despite our best efforts, we have not been able to do it, like the engines of the aircraft. So that is where we are dependent, and that's why our Tejas program got delayed. So now we are looking at engines, and if we get that, so perhaps I think the aircraft manufacturing will also be in the right direction. But when we look at the positive side, we have been able to manufacture aircraft carrier, which is a very big thing. There was similarly a lot of when we look at not only the military equipment, we also look at the anti-satellite equipment. The shall I say the strides which the country has made in the space sector uh, in terms of whether it is launching of satellites, whether it is SpaceX, whether it is sending the uh, uh, sending, I mean, reaching moon at a place where nobody else reached or landed. So that also, I think, and that is at an economical cost. Now, although we are slow, we were slow for the reasons I just mentioned, but the quality of our work is being appreciated all over the world because our space missions are the cheapest. Similarly, our equipment is reliable and cost effective. So therefore, when we emerge, and there is a market which is emerging in defense manufacturing for the simple reason, because Western equipment is far too costly. They have consumed a hell of a lot in the Ukraine war and the war in Middle East, and they are not in a very good, healthy state to export now. Russians are busy with their own equipment expenditure. Chinese, whatever they have made is not reliable in a manner that they are selling it 30% to Pakistan, and rest equipment which is being sold outside is only to the countries who have taken debt from them for BRI. So that is a compulsive buy. Otherwise, nobody buys Chinese equipment. So there is a market and there is an opportunity. And with the bright scientists and the entrepreneurs and the private sector getting into manufacturing, and the government facilitating the private sector to be able to take the risk of the R&D and bringing down the cost of R&D, I think these have been very positive steps. Positive indigenization lists have been made with the consultation of the research agencies as well as the industrialists as to what we can make into the within the country. So all these put together are certainly taking on shall I say, are making us self-reliant, and therefore our dependence on the foreign purchases is likely to go down. And perhaps we may also look at a defense industry which can earn foreign exchange for us instead of spending it. Back to you, Uday.
Yes, so okay, let me also in fact quickly